The jury is still out on the new national leader, and I think it's going to be out for some time. He's as obviously as gutless as John Key was in dealing with Maori issues. He is the same as those people who told Brash to go away after Brash made that speech in Orewa, built the National Party back up to where it should have been in numbers and support, because he was very strong in what he was saying about where Maori really did fit into the society of New Zealand and the responsibilities of Maori and the responsibilities the government have towards Maori. But now we have this new leader of National taking the same tack as John Key, too bloody gutless to stand up to this huge amount of Maori pressure which John Key allowed to build up. The moment that John Key, in the dark of the night, allowed Peter Sharples and his cohorts to jump on an aeroplane and go to United Nations and sign the Indigenous Charter, that was the end of it, the start of the end of it, and I will never ever forgive that pathetic, bloody John Key and his gutless nonsense. Now, when we heard about, the radio heard about this crowd dashing off to New York, we heard about it before they left. And the very next day, I had a meeting with Phil Goff. And I brought this up with Phil Goff at that stage. He was the leader of the opposition. God almighty, we have nothing but dopes down there. And as far as Goff goes, he was one of the dopes. I said to Phil, Phil, you know this is happening. He looked at me a little bit puzzled at first, wondering how the hell did I know. But he said, "Oh, don't worry about it, Robert. There's so many safeguards written into the agreement. It's only just a matter of function, a matter of maintaining their goodwill and their mana." I said, "Do you believe that, Phil?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, you're a fool." And that proved out that he is a fool, and Radio Mountainside were not the fools after all. But we were all fools in allowing John Key to be there for 9 years, and the damage that prick did to New Zealand, and the way that the Maori now have actually a caucus in the House, yes, a caucus in the House controlling this Labour government. And I will never ever forgive the National Party for allowing that to happen. I thought, okay, we have Christopher Luxton coming along as a new leader. Well, we all knew that he's as woke as hell, and that I don't think he's got the guts either to stand up to anything. He will just go along with the flow. He's going to have a nice, gentle life, just the same as John Key did. And did anyone ever ask where John Key was on a Thursday? You never saw John Key in the House on a Thursday. No, he was never there. I think he was out playing golf. Yep. He, as a leader, John Key was an absolute bloody disgrace compared to the leaders we've had before and after him, who work exceptionally hard to maintain their position in that Prime Minister's office. Luxton, I don't think, is going to be any different. Goodness me, politics is totally different to running a business or being part of business. That's why you have your PAs, and in my day we had private secretaries, and they knew as much about your policies and the way that you operated as you did. So when you went in the office, they normally could make a decision on your behalf. But when you're Prime Minister, you can't quite do that. Well, I can't see how you can do it. John Key proved what an arsehole he made of himself and what an arse he made of this country in the policies he followed. We tried to warn the national supporters that he's stuffing this place up, but they wouldn't have a clue anyway. So, and now they've put in this fellow Christopher Luxton, who is obviously as gutless in dealing with the Maori. He was asked a question over the weekend about the Maori and what it meant to him, this Tino Rangituratanga, or whatever you call it, lent to him in context of the treaty, after saying that he wasn't an expert on the treaty and almost prostrating himself in front of Jack Tamia, who he said was far more culturally fluent and literate than he was. He stated that it meant partnership. For goodness sake, we now have a leader of the opposition who is using that word partnership. That is just an absolute disgrace, and that shows you that this man Luxton is not yet suitable to be the leader of anything, not even a Boy Scouts brigade. But partnership? Where the bloody hell did that come from? Who dreamt that one up? A few Maoris in the back room, the Maori Fish and Chip Brigade. They've been pushing this partnership thing, and now we have the leader of the opposition, the new leader of the opposition, using the word partnership. Can you imagine just for a moment, the Queen Victoria is sitting in Balmoral, or Buckingham, or wherever she was sitting in those days, and a Maori turned up with tats all over him, and just turning up, and and he has a cup of tea with her, right? Can you imagine the Queen Victoria even thinking, even allowing, even putting into some sort of maybe box to go into partnership with a bunch of bloody natives? I don't think so. And when the treaty was written, there's no mention of partnership. And what it is that these bloody cunning, lying Maori, and they are so cunning and they're so lying, they even convinced weak-willed idiot John Key, and now they've obviously convinced Luxton. Oh, we know that silly little bird called Cindy, she goes down that track anyway without any proof, non-proof or anything else. But Luxton, for goodness sake, I have gone off this lot, and with Luxton saying that he looked at this as a partnership between Maori and the rest of New Zealand, it is not a partnership. We are a single people. There happens to be Maori, there happens to be Pākehā, there happens to be Scots, there happens to be Indian, there happens to be Asian. And this partnership between the Maori and the Crown, it can't be done. It just can't be done. There's nothing in the Constitution or even in the treaty that says that there is a partnership. But silly bloody old Luxton comes along and says, I believe there's a partnership. So here we go. The Nats have shot themselves in the foot again, and here we have someone who, again, who will kill the National Party because of his gutless, pointless, and his lack of knowledge, his absolute lack of knowledge where the Waitangi Tribunal or the treaty sits within our particular framework, and he hasn't a bloody clue. Obviously he's never read the treaty. It's only 3 bloody paragraphs, and tell me and show me anywhere in those 3 paragraphs in the original treaty document there's even a mention about partnership, because I can't find it, I can't see it. It's the lies, the manipulating, and the bullshit and the cunningness coming from the Maori that have swung weak-willed, easily dipsticks around to believing that there is a partnership when there is not a partnership. Do I sound angry? I think I have every reason to sound angry. And I tell you what, there's a lot of Maori out there who believe in exactly what I have just said. The only Maori who don't agree with this are the young, brainwashed, indoctrinated little twerps who think that Maori is the God gift to civilization when we know that they're not. They can't even, majority can't even behave themselves, let alone be part of a wonderful, wonderful civilization. Now, I am up to my back teeth when you have people like Luxton and the National Party who haven't got the bloody brains, they haven't got the guts, they haven't got the strength to stand up and say, right, we're here for New Zealand as a whole. We're not even going to discuss this partnership bullshit and nonsense because it cannot exist. But then you have a new leader comes along, a new leader of the opposition, and says, oh, well, I believe in partnership. What a bloody clown. And those who support him think very hard about this, because if you want to see New Zealand go down the gurgler and become New Zimbabwe, you support Luxton. Because I'm not.